Hi, this is Matthew from Zone 1 Hearing, and this is my friend Gail, who is actually wearing the same hearing aids as me. I don't know if you can spot those there. These are ReSound Custom hearing aids. We've both got the same fetching anthracite colour, and as I just came round to fit Gail's TV streamer up and show her how to connect to it on the app, we thought we'd just have a quick chat with the various platforms, YouTube and TikTok, etc., and just give some thoughts on them. So I think prior to these, Gail, you had ReSound Quattros and you were pretty happy with them, but could you just sort of share with the viewers your thoughts on these ReSound Customs?
Yes, I was happy with them. And I came to see you and you told me the advantages of getting these new ones.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy with them.
Excellent.
I understand the limitations when you lose your hearing. I don't expect a miracle, but I think they answer 90% of the problems I have.
That's pretty decent, yeah.
No, I'm very happy with that.
And I mean, Gail just mentioned something earlier and I'd completely forgotten. I was about to say, do you know where the remote microphone is? Eagle-eyed viewers may have spotted, it's actually clipped to me. And she thought I was literally standing right behind her. But that's because with the remote microphone, if this is say 6 or 8 inches below your mouth, the sound is just transmitted directly into the patient's ears. And there's actually a multitude of ways you can use this. So we were just discussing the fact you can press a button at the back and access the telecoil feature, which means you can then have that sound directed into the hearing aids you would hear in a theatre, cinema, bank, post office, supermarket counter, anywhere where that particular feature was active and live. You've got with these the ability, and this is just nice and simple, the right button can raise the volume, the left can lower. And what we've just done, your TV, I think, didn't have what they call a Toes-Link connection, but Gail's son had set it up where we can just plug it directly into the headphone socket. We've just checked it's connected on the computer, and now it's just popped up on the smartphone app, the Smart 3D app. And the first thing I think you said to me is, can you hear that? And I said, can I hear what? And you were listening to what?
I was listening to what was happening. I didn't actually know what was. I was a bit confused because I'm older than you.
No, just a little bit.
And yeah. I've not really got the technology information that you have.
Sure.
I listen to what you say, I press the buttons at what you say, and it happens, and that's brilliant. So sometimes, I'm not quite sure why it happens, but it does happen.
It does.
And I can hear.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. I just picked up your smartphone, flicked across and pressed the button, and what happened, the sound from the TV went directly into your hearing aids. And the reason I didn't know if you could hear or not is we had the volume set at 0 on purpose. So although you were saying, can I hear that? Absolutely not. It was just coming directly into the hearing aids. And if we'd use the Toes-Link connection, which is also known as digital or optical out, it would mean, let's say I thought, oh, that's an interesting program, I'd like to listen to it too. I could just simply set the volume where I'm comfortable, but if I wanted to read or do something different, it's having your own sort of personal cinema just going on inside your hearing aids. So at the moment, we've got a set of hearing aids where we can have an all-around feature, an outdoor feature, which makes them perform better, obviously outdoors. I think we had like a directional one for restaurants. I can't remember, did you have another? Oh, music, I think. So you've got a very well-rounded aid if you want to interact with it. You can even create your own programs at home. I use a TV streamer with these, and I just noticed I had the balance slightly out, or I'm my own audiologist. But all I did, rather than plugging back into the computer, was I changed the balance very slightly and then renamed it TV Balanced. And I was watching a James Bond movie, and as it came through, it just sounded very sort of like stereo in terms of the effect, and it was just much more immersive and much more enjoyable. And I mean, how have you found these when you've been out and about in comparison with your previous Quattro model?
Obviously better.
Yeah.
And because I'm not really very computer literate, I'm of an age where I like things simplified, but I do find them very easy to use.
Well, that's good.
I'm in a restaurant and I just press, there's all these programs.
Yeah.
General noise, get rid of background noise, concentrate on the person speaking to you. I have those sort of options. And they're quite simple. All I have to do is press things. If you said to me I had to program in something, that's when I call on you, Matthew. That is the difficulty.
Sure.
But once you've done it and just told me, it's very simple, and I'm very happy with it, yes.
Yeah, it seems like the ReSound Smart 3D app is like the one app within the audiology sort of sphere that actually gets decent reviews, and it is, as you say, it's quite intuitive to use and it is flexible. And yeah, I mean, one time I was a bit confused. I had a chap from Iraq call me and he said, Matthew, he said, every time I add a new program, it seems better and better than the one before, but I've now got something like 20 extra programs. And I called up and I was told you can just swipe down and delete the programs you don't want. So you can just create a bespoke program on the fly that suits you better. So, I mean, much as it's nice to call up your audiologist, can I come in and I think I need you to do this and that for me, you can just instantly create your own program. So they are pretty simple. But I've also got a lady who's over 100 who lives in East London, and she simply presses a button to go from normal to streaming from the TV, and then presses again to go back again. And what I find is we seem to be able to use these with patients on every single level of ability, be they someone who can just simply press a button, or a relative helps them with it, or someone who's a little bit sort of techie. And actually Gail's probably a bit more techie than I think she gives herself credit for, but she's got most of the accessories, so the TV streamer, the app, hooked up to the smartphone. So I believe you take your phone calls through the aid, obviously now you're going to be using your TV streamer.
I mean, I'm really, really happy with it. However, as you just said, if it was something I was confused about or was not happy about, I make a phone call to you.
Well, exactly.
And then you're there. You can either do it remotely or whatever,
well, exactly. You've got that facility with ReSound to have remote adjustments or obviously in person. And of course, sometimes you have to get in the trenches. You need to come to a person's house and go, oh, it's plugged in the wrong thing, or we need to press this button. And often just that simple few minutes doing some troubleshooting can make a significant difference to the person's life, which is why I'm not, you may have heard me speak about this before, I'm not a massive fan of just posting hearing aids out to people. The other thing you'll probably realise is you are limiting your choice. Custom hearing aids, quite different to post out to people, quite difficult, because you need to take the impressions, and then much as we'd like to say we get it right first time, every time, you might need a few little nips and tucks to the size of the venting, the length of the projection in the ear. But once you do, I think it's well worth the investment to try a custom aid, especially if your hearing's a bit worse, because we get that great seal and we don't have sound leaking out, hitting a microphone, potentially causing feedback. They're pretty secure in the ears, as you can see. So if you're wearing a mask, spectacles, pulling a jumper over your head, etc., doing some kind of sporting activity, you don't tend to knock them out. And then one of the things which I think a lot of people have found with this particular model, and I'm thinking up to now, I think I've only fitted one in a flesh tone. Almost everyone seems to have gravitated towards this anthracite one. You may have heard me say, I actually got pulled up by a retired doctor when I went for a local community meal, and she said, Mr. Pearson, you can't keep wearing those headphones, you're going to make yourself deaf, And I actually had to stop her and say, well, that's mission accomplished. These are actually hearing aids. And she was very surprised, because I'm sure people, if you tell them, they'll go, but you're not wearing hearing aids, you're wearing headphones. And that means the whole, which obviously doesn't affect everyone, that embarrassment factor, that delay of taking action can be minimized with these, because are they headphones, are they hearing aids? Well, they're kind of both, but it just means you get the best of all worlds with them. You can consume content, you can listen through this mic, you can listen through a TV streamer, you can put the telecoil through them, you've got all day battery life, whereas say something like the Apple AirPods, they're great, but 2 or 3 hours, maybe a little bit longer on the new model, but you are limited, and people just want to put hearing aids in and forget about them. I often go, oh, am I wearing them? That's how much of a part of me they feel, and maybe Gail's probably feels the same way.
Well, I do, they're really comfortable. I don't, sometimes I think, have I got my hearing aids in? Have I taken them out? I go, oh yeah, at night, I think, and I'm always scared I'm going to get in the bath or under the shower with them in, because they're so comfortable. But I've got a routine that I don't do that.
No, well, that's good, but they do actually have a degree of protection against such a situation, so that's really good to know as well. So yeah, we've not gone super techie with this one, but I just thought it'd be great having a little bit of a patient testimonial, and obviously, as you can see, I mean, I've got a bunch of different hearing aids, full disclosure, not just these, but I really do like the streaming aspect. I love the cosmetics, the comfort, the appearance I've mentioned. The charging's great. You just close the lid, you can see them charging, so that's a nice feature. And don't tell Gail, there's actually a new model. So the Omni is the latest one. Sorry about that, Gail. We're both wearing the older one, but we've been fitting them and having some great feedback's never a great word in the audiology community, but some great feedback from our patients about the Omnias. They're the same great look. So long may the success with these continue. So thank you for watching on whatever platform you're watching this video, and have a great rest of your day. From Matthew from Zone One Hearing and our friend Gail.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.